Moments ago, standing together with her wife Sherelle in the Oval Office, I spoke with Brittney Griner. She's safe. She's on a plane. She's on her way home. After months of being unjustly detained in Russia, held under intolerable circumstances. Brittney will soon be back in the arms of her loved ones, and she should have been there all along.
Brittney Griner's on her way home. Wheels up, in the air. Let's talk about it. Well, if you don't know who Brittney Griner is and what the story is behind that, Brittney Griner is a WNBA basketball star. She, like most WNBA players, didn't make a whole lot of money. The women just don't make the money the men do. So to supplement her income, she plays in other leagues, and one of the leagues she plays in is in Russia. It was not uncommon before the whole Ukraine disaster and everything for Americans to go back and forth and work in Russia. It's a way to make money, folks. It's just a way to make money. Well, she traveled back and forth many times before, and she's traveled before with vape pens that have CBD oil in them. Technically illegal in Russia, not something that gets enforced, really. She's traveled before with them. With everything that's going on in Ukraine, the Russian intelligence agencies needed some pressure. So they arrested Brittney Griner. They arrested her because she does have notoriety. They arrested her because she does travel with CBD pens. You can rest assured they knew that happened, that was going to happen. So she got arrested. She was used as a political pawn. The worst part about it is that if you don't know about Russia, Russia is a deeply, deeply racist society. You know, they don't like Americans, and they really hate black people. They do. They're a deeply, deeply racist society. So she was in a great deal of danger. Take apart, set aside all of the notoriety and who she was, and just being a black woman in the Russian penal system, she was in an incredible amount of danger. So the U.S. government, because she is an American citizen, was trying to get her the hell out of there. They made a deal. They traded a guy by the name of Victor Bout. And if you don't know who Victor Bout is, the first thing you're going to hear was there was a movie made about him in 2005, a Nicolas Cage movie called Lords of War. Ignore that. That movie has as much to do with Victor Bout as Spaceballs has to do with John Glenn. It's fiction. It's fiction. The real Victor Bout was born in Dushanbe, Tajikistan. He went into the Soviet military. There are multiple stories going around, the most credible being that he was in the Soviet Air Force. He was a major in the Soviet Air Force. When the Soviet Union collapsed, if you don't know anything about that, it was just Wild West days. Imagine if the United States government collapsed. All the resources we have overseas, nobody would have control of them. So imagine all the transport aircraft we have in Germany and Africa and the Middle East and in Qatar and all that, imagine all of that. If you were a resourceful Air Force officer and knew how to get in touch with the flight crews for those airplanes, you could garner yourself an Air Force pretty damn quick. You could get some top-notch air logistics aircraft in your control pretty damn quick if you jumped on it. And that's exactly what happened with Victor Bout when the Soviet Union collapsed. He just, as fast as he could, cobbled together an Air Force of former Soviet aircraft that were just perfect for landing on unimproved airfields and whatnot. And he went into the arms business. And he's an incredibly intelligent human being, and he's a sociopath. He's a polyglot. He speaks about 6 languages fluently. And he really, he buddied up with Charles Taylor, the Liberian warlord, dictator, horrific rapist, murdering, horrific son of a bitch. He helped them destabilize Sierra Leone so that they could ship blood diamonds out of Africa together. He provided arms to both sides of the Angola Civil War. he's just, and in Colombia, the FARC rebels, he was providing them arms to shoot down our pilots when we were engaged in the drug war down in Colombia. I mean, he just would sell arms to just about anybody, and he was really good at it. Here's the problem. Yeah, not really a problem, it's just the reality. We nabbed him in 2010. Brought him to the United States. He was tried and convicted in 2012 with time served. He was given a 25-year sentence. So he was about halfway through, if you consider time served and good behavior. Good behavior in the federal system is 9 days served, 9 for 10. You get 1 for 10 off for good behavior. So you figure 22 years, 22 and a half years max he was going to serve. He'd already served over 12 of it. This is when you make a trade with somebody. You've had them in custody for a dozen years. They've, and it's not like the movies where like they're, serving hard time and, this, that. No, somebody like Victor Bout is used. He is a good source of information, and that information is traded for a cushy lifestyle behind bars. So, and you have to understand, this guy's a sociopath. He's not, this is all transactional to him. This is the cost of doing business. He knew he could go to jail for this. He knew it. I mean, this isn't like a personal thing for him. He is somebody that traded things while he was in prison to improve his lifestyle. And the Russians want him back. They want him back real bad. And like I said, this is when you trade somebody like that, because they have enough time in prison left that they're worth trading, but they're on the downhill slope, so you're not going to have them forever. As much as we don't like it, that's the reality of it. The question is, why would Putin want him back so bad? Well, if you just look at his life and all the chaos that he sowed, he's exactly who Putin would want back. So we traded Victor Bout, who we were going to trade anyways. We traded Victor Bout for Brittney Griner. And the Republicans are just having a hissy fit about it. They're just having a hissy fit about it. And what I would suggest to you is just look at it like she's an American citizen. Because they want you to look at it like she's, privileged, or that she's something special, that she got special treatment, that we traded this horrific person for her, and that we were going to trade anyways. We were going to trade him for somebody. We were. It might as well have been Brittney Griner. She was in extreme danger in the Russian penal system. She was. I mean, I can't explain to you how horrifically racist those people are. They are. And the folks in the Russian penal system are the worst of the worst. So yeah, a woman was traded. Now, what bothers me the most about what's coming out of people like this statement from Trump 2.0, Trump Jr., is it's tinged with racism. They want you to be pissed off because it was Brittney Griner, a black woman. They'll say things like, well, she shouldn't have committed a crime, and she shouldn't have this, and she shouldn't have that. It's all irrelevant. She's an American citizen. You know, imagine she was some lily white little housewife and not a star basketball player who happens to be a black woman. You would want her back home to her family. Let's give the same damn respect to Brittney Griner. And let's be happy that she is home, coming home to her family and safe. We're supposed to look out for American citizens. The other thing I'm hearing out of Republicans is, well, there were other people that have been there longer and this, yada, yada, yada. Well, you know what? Each case is different. And the American government didn't give up on trying to get those people home. You know, the suppositions that Republicans make in making these arguments are bullshit. You know, they try to act like, oh, well, we're just abandoning everybody over there. We're not. The negotiations are going on today to try to get people home. So take pride, be happy, be glad for the Griner family. She is coming home. And don't wring your hands about Victor Bout being released. He's 2 years older than I am, folks. He doesn't have that Air Force that he garnered together from the Soviet Union anymore. He lost it all. Folks, we know who he is. He's on our radar. We're watching him. Chances are in the 12 years that we had him, we made some significant inroads into him, and he was being released for a reason. So folks, don't stress about that. Don't. It's really not the big deal that Republicans are going to make it out to be, because, you know, everything is bad with them. Everything that's done has to be a failure for them because they've got nothing to offer. It's who they are. It's who they are. They have nothing but bitching and complaining to offer. Be happy, folks. Brittney Griner's on her way home. Love you, folks. Old Texas Paul out. Hit that subscribe button. We need to get over 1 million subscribers. Tell your friends. Show them this video. Show them this video. Put it out there. Put the word out. I mean, we don't have a corporate sugar daddy, folks. We don't. We speak the truth. There's nobody telling us what to say. We look at situations like this and just tell you the truth. Love you, folks. Old Texas Paul out.
MeidasTouch is unapologetically pro-democracy. And look, we know you are too. So please make sure you check out our best-selling shirt and our best-selling gear, the unapologetically pro-democracy gear. And hey, while you're at it, make sure you check out my favorite shirt and one of our most famous designs. It wasn't rigged, you're just a loser. At store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.